It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go, take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. A pair of hop-along boots and pistols that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that'll talk and go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on the door of your own front door. This Christmas jingle sings of all that's going on. Already, things have been decorated for Christmas for a long time. Fraternity's been playing Christmas music since the day after Thanksgiving, blaring it. Probably already have your Christmas parties all lined up, right? But this is the first day of Advent, the season that the church gives us for preparing for Christmas. It was beautiful the last Mass. I said, it's beginning to look like someone yelled out, Advent. In here, it's like a refuge, a place that actually has Advent, that we have this place to prepare. So the church gives us 4 weeks. We lit the first Advent candle, the first week of Advent. Then there's a second week. Each week has a different theme. The third week is the rose color, joyful expectation. The fourth week, this year, we get the fourth week of Advent starts on Saturday night, and by 24 hours later, Christmas will be here. You get the shortest fourth week possible, okay? It's a short time to prepare. But those 4 weeks, it's joyful expectation, looking forward to the coming of Jesus. And we learn as children to learn to expect and anticipate. What? To opening up presents. And you have that joy of waiting for Christmas, and it's so hard to wait. But you learn a joy of waiting for the coming of Jesus. But this first Sunday kicks off Advent not for the coming of Jesus, not preparing for Christmas, which is important, the high holy days. But the church says not coming of Jesus as a little baby like he did way long ago, but coming again. This is what we're praying for. You'll hear the prayer of the church, the preface at the Mass or at the altar that says, let me read the prayer. As Jesus assumed his first coming, the lowliness of human flesh, and so fulfilled the design God formed long ago and opened for us the way of eternal salvation. That's Christmas. That Jesus came in flesh means he became born of Mary. He took human flesh. God became man. That's what we celebrate at Christmas. But that's not what we're looking for today. As Jesus assumed his first coming, now may we, that is, now may the church watch for that day when Jesus comes again in glory and majesty and all is at last made manifest. That's what the church wants us to look for. Jesus is coming again, not as a little baby. He's coming as King of the universe that we celebrated last week. He's coming again, not coming meek, a little baby, and calling us to eternal life like, oh, come, everyone should come and be drawn by that joy and love. He's coming as King, and he's going to judge us. It's a little intimidating, isn't it? We think it's even called the rapture. I think there's 10 Christian movies. There's movies about the end of the world. It kind of fascinates us and gives us a little fear as well. What's the end of the world going to be like? What is going on with this? It should be a little anxiety-provoking. It's the same way that here we are in a university community. It helps us prepare for this because it's finals week next week. I don't know if you noticed, but the people next to you, if they're students, they're having some anxiety. I taught last Mass, it was someone in law school. His exam is tomorrow. We got to pray for him. 95% of his grade on the exam tomorrow. Undergrads get 1 week to prepare, and it's not 95%. It's usually a lot less, okay? But they still have final exams, and there's just this psychological intimidation. Of us that are older, we can say, it's not that big of a deal. You're going to get jobs. Everything's going to be fine. It's not that big of a deal. But it causes that anxiety. You have to prepare. And psychologists teach if you have too much anxiety in those exams, it's going to limit even the way you take the test. It'll be debilitating. So they give tips on how to deal with the anxiety. Let me read a few of the tips. Therapists say, if you can moderate the stress can actually improve your motivation, memory, and attention, enhance test performance. So in other words, accept that there's some anxiety preparing for the test. And therefore, be diligent in preparing and studying. Is make time. Don't leave it up to cramming. We all know that. It's like you cram, you get overwhelmed. Undergrads have a whole week to prepare. This week, classes wind down. There's even a dead day. There's one whole free day. Some people take that day for carousing and parties and going too much. And they literally feel dead the next day. Dead. But use this, be diligent. Don't wait for that last day to cram the exams. Be diligent working a little bit each day. That's what psychologists say, but that's what Jesus says as well. He says, being watchful, looking for that coming. Should be like someone that leaves his house to others to take care of, and everyone should be diligent doing their own work, looking for the Lord of the house to return. Don't be just like slacking out, oh, whatever, I'll catch up later, we'll do this. Be diligent doing each their own work. That's the parable that Jesus gave. And that goes for all of us, isn't it? We learn from undergrads preparing for their exams that all of us can be diligent along with them. Making the time to get all we have to do. It might be taking care of your house, taking care of your work this time of year. Even sometimes at Christmas time is like sending out Christmas cards. It's like, oh, I got so many cards and it becomes a stressful thing. And all this, we can rephrase that stress. God has given us opportunities. God's giving you Christmas cards to send out. Thank God you have some friends and family that you want to make that opportunity, that you have work to do. God's given you specific work to do. For students, you have that opportunity to take exams to share back what you've learned this semester. That's a good opportunity. These are wonderful opportunities to share. Yeah, it's anxiety producing, but once again, rephrasing that is we have this opportunity and you get energy to do the work that you have to do. Of course, psychologists say, also take care of yourself. In the midst, get up, have a good meal. Have a good meal early in the morning, maybe midday, whatever, but have some good, healthy food. Take care of yourself. Share about the anxiety. Talk to someone. It's the best advice you could have. Just share. Have a friend that can encourage you, someone trusted. Here at the Newman Center, all our doors are open, from Manny to Sister Lynn, Sister Mary Elizabeth, Father JP, me. Even there's students that are hanging out in the library, mostly diligently studying. But people are here to talk to, that not only they're doing their studies, but also have an opportunity to talk to people, to share with someone how you're feeling. And guess what? Also take care of others. Jesus says on that final exam, there will be a final. When your professor is kind of like, this will be on the test? Jesus did that. He underlined, this will be on the test. What? To care for others. So love God with all your heart and soul and strength, and love one another as you love yourself. There, I passed the exam. Now I got to do it. That's the words. That's been our theme for this year. But you actually do it. To love God and to love others as you love yourself. Taking care of yourself, getting sleep, eating well, having some time to relax this week. That's taking care of yourself. But then take care of others. If you see someone stressed, talk to them. Hey, how's it going? If you see they're stressed, allow them to talk about it. It relieves that stress, to be able to say it out loud. And loving God is share this with the Lord as well. Share your anxiety is the best thing, learning how to pray anxiety. To say, I have all this work, I feel burdened, and to say it, and somehow it helps put it in check. It doesn't take it away, but you're sharing that load with the Lord. And this is what Jesus is saying. He's like, while you're doing all your work, everyone should be attentive, doing your work diligently daily, but looking to the Lord of the house who's going to return. To share our work, to take some time in the midst of all we're doing and to share it with the Lord. And it's something we have to break out of this cycle. Usually around this time when we're all stressed working, it's like, okay, I got to do good on this test, I got to do good, and we're relying on ourselves. Instead of relying on ourselves, as we share it with others, even tell others what you're studying. One student was like, oh, I'll tell you about my biology. This is amazing. This is what I'm learning this week. It's wonderful to share with what you're working, not only with others, but also even with the Lord. It's an opportunity. Here's what I'm sharing. It's the best thing to do when you're studying. If you write out, okay, here's what I'm doing for memorization, How much even better, tell the Lord what you're working on. Here's what I'm learning. Maybe I'm having difficulty on this, or I'm learning this and I have joy in this. Share it with the Lord. It's an opportunity that we're paying attention to the Lord, paying attention to our lives and to those around us. That's loving the Lord with all our heart and soul and strength, and loving one another as ourselves. This is what Advent looks like, preparing for Jesus to come, but he is coming. In this Eucharist, his grace is here for us. We prepare for Christmas. That's Jesus becoming incarnate, and it happens every time at Mass. In our hearts, we receive Jesus. So we prepare ourselves in a special way in this Advent season, that Jesus who is with us, his grace may be with you, and share it to the world. It truly is beginning to look a lot like Advent. Soon the bells will start, and things that make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart.